Hey guys, we're about to take step one of the project. We're going to formulate questions. So this happens on Thursday and Friday. Friday, we might get to some research, but we're not sure. So let's see how questioning goes. This is usually the hardest part of any research project. So, what your goal is to get authority figures in front of whom we will present. Get them thinking about changing the public education system so that it accommodates the post-secondary goals of all students, not just some. It is hard to generate our own questions because we've kind of lost that ability. We just want somebody to tell us what to look up, and then we'll find the information and be done. But you can give our authority figures all kinds of cool ideas to help people figure out what they want to do after high school. The rules are ask as many questions as you can, don't stop to discuss, change each statement into a question, and include your name on each question note sticky so you'll know which questions you personally asked. Take a screenshot or a photo of the Jamboard after you're done asking your questions so you'll have questions that you can answer in your research. So, in asking these questions, I've given you some suggestions. You can ask questions about how our culture feels about college versus trade school or apprenticeships in order to set up the problem so that they can hear you say, hey, not all of us are going to college. Or if we are going to college, we'd like to know what to major in. Or if we are going to college, we'd like to know the financial side of it and how to pay for it without going into debt. These are things that high schools should allow you to know and things that maybe you should ask them about so that they can and research so that they can have ideas to change the way this high school works in other high schools. Another suggestion would be to ask questions about the success of high schools that have other options, not just college, like vocational training, maybe auto shop or cosmetology, or maybe they offer more HOSA classes and trainings and certifications so that when you come out of high school as an 18-year-old and you're certified EMT, you can make money, decent money in the ambulance world. You can make decent money as a physical therapist with a the first certification you get out of that. You have to spend a little bit longer to get any higher certification. But people that can come out of high school and make between $30,000 and $60,000 a year are doing really well in financing their own educations later. Don't chase a dream. Finance your dream by getting a certification or knowing exactly how you're going to proceed. Don't go to college unless you know what you want to major in. I mean, just don't. There's no reason to spend $12,000 and decide college is not for me. Think it through. And I'm not saying don't go to college. Both my kids went to college. They both got graduate degrees. They both have jobs in what they want to do. But try not to limit yourself to just one option in case that option doesn't pan out. And I would love our high schools not to limit our students to just one option. How about asking questions about how income versus how much cost? How about asking questions about income versus cost? I have one son who gambled $150,000 of debt on himself to get a medical degree. And now he has a job that makes $10,000 to $12,000 a month, and he will be able to pay back that debt within 2-3 years. My other son, we invested a lot in his education as well. He doesn't have any debt, but his income will not pay back what we spent on his education. So it comes you need to research how much you make in certain jobs, what certifications cost, what certifications can get you, what colleges cost, what colleges can get you. Ask questions. Ask questions about how students feel about being offered a choice of vocational versus academic education. That's what they do in Europe. And it's look at the success of people in Europe with their schools. You'd have to look it up and research it, but ask questions about that. Ask any questions that help you present ideas to our administration about how they can change things in education in Tomball for the better. This is the goal. We stop and we ask questions, and then tomorrow we'll research the answers. This is where you can add questions. There are questions already added on these boards. You can take screenshots of any of them. I only am going to ask you to research 5 questions. You just need 5 questions and 5 sources. And we've learned how to evaluate sources. So now all you have to do is question and then figure out what source is good for you. And then go ahead and use that source. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this right now because that would be important. All right. So that's what's on for Thursday. Friday, you're going to watch what a roundtable discussion looks like. And if you've finished asking your questions, you're going to research answers. Remember, we've already gone through how to evaluate a source. We want .edu, .gov, or .mil. If you use an org website, then you need to make sure that the information is good. I'm going to show you what the answers look like. I've given you a sheet to write on, and it looks like this. It makes a copy for each of you. I gave you an example. So here's the question focus. How can administrators accommodate the post-secondary needs of all students in public high schools? And should they? And the example question that I came up with was, should high schools administer strengths finders tests or personality tests in order to help students plan their after high school plans? Now, there's people that say you change so much after high school that there's no way strengths finders will help you. And other research says, yeah, it's not a bad idea. So here's some quotes from my research that I can use. And here is the source right here. Now, I have to evaluate this source. Is it credible? So I had to look at the source and see if it was an actual scientific study, because I cannot tell from this link whether it's worthwhile or not. It is a government resource because it's the state of Colorado, U.S., so I assume it's going to be credible, but I have no idea. So I have to make sure that this information is worthwhile. And that's what I'll do as I research. I'll just research more and make sure that these things make sense. So I'm going to ask you to do 5 questions, and I'll answer them and then tell me the source. And then I'll show you later how to do a works cited page. That's what we're doing Thursday and Friday. Okay? Let's go back to Thursday and Friday. This is the formulating questions part that I just showed you. And this is the slideshow that tells you how to evaluate sources. There is one more thing that we probably will look at on Friday, and that's how to Google efficiently. So I'll add that to the website tomorrow. There's tricks to Googling that keep you from getting all bogged down in tons of websites. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Actually, Friday.